Hello and welcome to Northern Illinois Biz Chats. I'm your host, Susie, with the Gift Wrap Place, also known as wrapwithbo.com.
And I'm your co-host, George Chase.
These chats are sponsored by wrapwithbo.com
and the George Chase Insurance Agency.
Thanks for tuning in and enjoy this episode of Biz Chats,
also known as NIBC.
Here we are again, another episode of Northern Illinois Business Chats. And we are here with a fabulous guest, most of you know. But we're going to have her introduce herself anyway.
Hi, I'm Arlene Lynes. I am the owner of Read Between the Lines bookstore here on the Woodstock Square in Illinois.
So I need to call her Madam President. She's won so many awards. How many awards did you win this? She won so many awards. You should be president now. I'm
no,
all for it, Madam President.
No, thank you for that.
I keep seeing you everywhere. Now,
Thank you.
Your bookstore is located. Tell them where it's located in the square.
The bookstore is located at 111 East Van Buren Street. We are just down the block from the Woodstock Opera House.
And how long have you been in that location? How long have you been in business?
I have been in business almost 20 years, George.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
It is
Well,
hard
I get
to
it.
believe. We opened July of 2005, and at that point we were at 129 Van Buren Street, up on the corner.
That's where the bridal shop is, right?
That is where the
I
bridal shop
remember.
is now.
It was cute too.
I loved that. I loved that store.
That was a great spot too.
It was a great spot.
Yeah.
But this one is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was
beautiful.
there for
Yeah.
10 years, and then so I've been down at my current spot for 9.5 years.
Okay.
See, I didn't know you moved, and so I saw that you were gone, but you were in the corner. So I have to tell you, for years I thought she was gone, and then all of a sudden you're not gone. That's a beautiful spot, but we always went in there, because the kids, when we had the school and we'd bring the kids in, and it was just so fabulous to have that hometown feel, and you did story time then, right?
I did story time.
Yeah.
We've
It's
pretty
always
much
been very
done
popular.
Story
Yeah.
time twice a week. So it used to be Tuesdays and Saturdays to coordinate with the farmers market, both of those days. Now it is Thursdays and Saturdays.
And so what's a good age range for that?
It really scales to 3, 4. And so,
that's
some
fine.
people bring in the 1-year-olds and just to see, will they sit and listen, somewhere else because they're anxious to get story time started with their little one. So it ranges. I'm not like an educator, so I don't have prepared, books. I sort of wait to see who walks in the door, my age range, and then I choose from I customize it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So George and I were talking, we wanted to do for 50 plus, right? We need just story time for 50 years and older.
Yes.
That'd be a little bit of a different.
We could do a mystery one week. We could do a drama the next. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Act it
yeah.
out. There you go. Something new. All right.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I wanted to ask, the kids are all preschool ages that come to Storytime?
Pretty
For
much.
the most part? Okay.
Pretty much.
Not like the school brings them over
No,
during their day?
but we do have area schools that bring in their special needs.
Of course, yeah.
Students. And if they're down on the square, they come in.
Perfect.
And, join
Such a
in for
great
story time,
service.
which is great.
Yeah.
And there's no charge for this.
No, completely
This is free to the community. So if mom brings in kids, she can have her coffee.
Yeah.
And kids can sit.
Absolutely.
So that's a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
That is
Coffee,
really-
chocolates, the whole bit. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of the kids do, if they sit quiet, their reward is they get to have, the parents will buy them a scoop of ice cream afterwards.
Oh, you have ice
or
cream?
a book. Oh, we
I
have-
didn't know.
You didn't
yeah.
know?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I first learned of affogato.
Is that
Okay.
in the
At your
back?
store.
Where is it? I don't remember seeing it.
It's right over to the right. It's by the coffee. There's a glass
Missed
case.
it.
Yeah.
Is it new?
No. In fact, it's a thing because it's...
It is a thing.
Oh, it's a thing because in Chicagoland, there is a very well-known ice cream place out of Wilmette, Homer's.
Yes, of course I know Homer's.
Okay,
Yeah,
but see,
okay.
I was not from Chicago. So
Okay, fabulous.
So we have Homer's ice cream. I think we're the only ones in McHenry
So how many
County.
flavors?
12.
I love it. So are you going in there getting ice cream?
Right after this chat is over.
Have you ever gotten the ice cream in there? That is,
Yeah,
real. I didn't
I've
even know
done,
that was
we-
in there.
We've done the affogato, which is ice cream on the bottom of a hot chocolate.
Ooh.
Or, no.
Or coffee.
Espresso is a true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think my kids have
Probably
had
as
hot
good as an
With
es-
hot chocolate,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably as good as an espresso
Oh,
martini. Have you had
yeah,
those?
yeah, it's really
Chocolate,
good.
yummy. Okay.
Okay.
So that is
Now you've
really.
learned something
So,
new.
is there any other ice cream on the square? I don't
There
think so.
is.
Where?
There is. There's at the. I think Polly's has gelato.
Oh, I just was
believe.
over there. I didn't see he had that.
I think
oh
he
yeah, I think
does.
he might. Yeah, he might.
And then there is
La Michoacán.
La Michoacán
Yeah.
down
yeah,
here
yeah,
by
yeah,
the bakery.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, but that is so
Mexican family
fabulous
ones,
to
yeah.
have it in a bookstore.
Yeah.
That was a great idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the families can come in at no charge, and that's once a week,
Well, twice.
twice a week.
Thursday mornings at 10:30, Saturday mornings at 10:30. And starting I think Saturday, May 3rd, the first farmers market. At farmers market,
Oh, I can't wait till farmers market.
weather permitting, 10:30, I'm outside. I'm right in front of the bandstand. They mic
Okay,
me.
fabulous.
And yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, was there something?
No, I'm gonna
trying not to-
audition for a backup reader role, if that's okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
That sounds super cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
background checked.
Yeah.
So, give us a sense of the small book business, the industry, like what's going on with it right now.
The industry right now for independent bookstores is pretty darn hot. So,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's a big shift. There's a big shift of people paying attention to their community and independently owned businesses and trying to honor those. And so it's pretty darn fabulous right now. So
So, if someone's thinking about getting in on the book business, maybe in their area, small town somewhere, now's a good time.
yes, but then they really it really works down to math. Pretty much, I think any business,
math.
you know, and math and in the book business is not the best
Right, we all
combination.
know that, yeah.
So like I said earlier when we were talking, there's a school I went to, and she's all about running the numbers, your demographics of how many people
Right,
live
exactly.
in your town, their education level.
That's great information
Yep.
for them.
Their
Uh-huh.
education level, the income
Right,
level,
right.
all of those things. That, you just, I would hate to say, sure, you can open a bookstore anywhere.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Open a
Yeah.
bookstore, they said. It'll be
You were
great.
right.
They said, right.
Yeah.
I think
But
you
it
know-
is a different time now. It just seems like the independent bookstores,
Yeah.
it is a thing now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because, it went big,
Yeah.
and now everybody's going home.
Arlene's point, you got to have both halves of your brain working, right? You got to have the math side working, and the artsy side. You got to know books. You got to know what appeals to your your customers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, 20 years
In
or
July,
more.
20 years.
20
We're
years.
starting to plan right now.
You
Thank
know
you.
it.
Yeah.
It's hard to run a small
What were
business,
you
for
doing
Pete's
prior
sake.
to that?
I was home with my children.
Oh.
And
okay.
I was
Yeah.
volunteering. I had no formal no formal education in retail. I was not an English major. Nothing. My claim to fame is I loved to shop in independent bookstores.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. That's where your passion is.
That
So that's
is
where your
my
passion went.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
How many kids and where are they now?
I have 3 children. My oldest is in Vermont. My middle, right at this moment, is in Washington, D.C., but that will be changing shortly. And my youngest and his wife are in Janesville, Wisconsin.
So we are excited about our sponsorships.
Yeah, thanks to Cicerone's Cafe and Deli here in Woodstock. They provided us with a great coffee setup for our biz chats.
It was like
You've
the
had a
weekend.
couple of really busy Saturdays here.
Yeah, but it's a lot of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
It's
at
amazing.
Walworth. It's a lot of, we see a lot of Lake Geneva
A lot of Lake
residents.
Geneva, and I did see a couple Janesville and Milwaukee.
Wow.
And the folks from Milwaukee were like, yeah, we come all the time. We love the square. We make it like a day trip. Who is that overlooked author that you would like to see gain more popularity?
Oh, well, that's a hard question. So, well, there is a local author. She
Okay.
is nationally published. And so it's been really fun to watch
of course.
her trajectory. Her author name is S.A. Barnes, and she writes sci-fi horror. And so she does sci-fi horror. So actually her third
She's
book,
like aliens on a farm.
reading her book yesterday, and I got to this one part, and I'm like, this now we're getting scary, and it was also getting dark. So at night, my husband goes, "You're reading a different book?" I said, "Well, I didn't want to read that book in the dark. I didn't think it would be good for me.
Because I won't be sleeping."
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
So she's local, and
she is local, but she has a book tour that actually starts tomorrow
with county.
and
Okay.
she's local in the county. So, like I said, this is her third nationally published book. She has a following from all over the country. So, because she will do an advertising thing on her website to order her books through us. And then she comes in and personalizes and signs them, and we ship them out.
So she has a unique niche. See, we used
She
to,
does.
growing up, we used to say niche.
Yeah, niche.
Now it's niche. No, my son loves to keep correcting me on. So that's her thing. Like that's a unique.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great answer.
But for the Chicagoland region, Orion Samuelson, who for years did the farm
Radio,
report,
yeah.
right?
There you go.
Every single morning. He
Orion
did
Samuelson.
the farm report on WGN radio. And he wrote a book. And we were able to get him in for a book signing. And there was a line. This is when I was in my prior location. Out the door and down the street. So, yeah.
So what is his claim to fame?
Orion Simmons.
Yeah.
He did WGN radio,
Mm-hmm.
and was he downstate? Or did he do it
No.
locally from Chicago?
I think
So
he
he
did it
wrote
from
about
Chicago,
that?
but
Is
he
that
wrote
what you're
about-
saying? He wrote about
Yeah.
that?
Pig
Yes.
futures, the farming market.
Okay.
Right, but
The
he
farming
wrote about it.
And it was like
community
nobody
really
else was
tuned in.
doing it at that
Right.
time. So
But-
he like blew
No,
that
that
up.
was-
Okay.
That was his
Okay.
thing. He's very, very well known
He was
by
the
the
Tom
farmers.
Skilling of the farm.
Well,
Of
of
the
course,
farmer.
we're in the middle
Right.
of farmland, of course.
So yeah, so
Perfect.
that was huge.
Yeah.
And then the actor Stephen Tobolowsky, who
Yep.
played Ned Ryerson.
Yeah, of course.
We just had him. So
And what was his book?
One is Talking with God. Excuse
So
me.
he played Ned Ryerson in
Right.
Groundhog Day.
Dangerous Animals is in the title, and it's just little essays about his life, and neither of his books have anything to do with Groundhog's Day. And both times that he's been in Woodstock, we have sold hundreds of copies just because people want to meet him.
And they're
get-
good books.
Yeah,
They're good.
well, and his,
He tells it well.
yeah,
Yeah.
great storyteller.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. Very gracious, right? I've seen him a couple times at Groundhog Day weekend, and he's in for all the events, photo ops with everybody who comes out and anybody who asks. He signed a photo that
So
I had.
this is the thing
whole bit.
that your store has done for the community. Those things would never have existed.
Right.
If you were to say, this is too much, the math is not working. That no one would have had these experiences that you brought these, an abundance of experiences to the square and did so much for so many. I mean, if you look back, we get busy in our business, right? We get really busy. And then we don't really see the impact, because we're like rats on a wheel, man. And what I got to do with it. And then you look back, you're like, wow, that was huge. And that's huge. That's really a testament to you stayed with it. I'm sure there were moments that I am done with this thing.
I think my husband has more of those moments.
Oh, I get
than
it.
I have, but,
And then it's around the corner, it's this thing that's this is why I do this.
exactly. I think the big thing is that, especially in the last 5 or so years, so many people have reached out about, supporting us through COVID, but sharing their stories of their memories. And, the fact that at Christmas time or wherever, I have 20-somethings, 30-somethings
Love that.
in looking for me.
Of course.
Because they have a story. They have a memory of the bookstore and me. And then it's amazing. Very specific stories they will tell.
My wife
See-
is a big fan of your store and you, and she brought our 3 boys, and all the time, I don't know if you remember Amy.
Amy doesn't read.
Yeah, she's a big fan of your store, and
brought the boys in.
Yep.
And so the boys probably have fabulous memories.
Oh yeah, they were in all the time.
George, do you know how to read?
Great summertime memories. That was one of the things that she's loved to do, is go to Arlene's store with the boys.
That's the thing,
pick out
is that
books.
you've created an environment of community and celebration and memories.
Yeah.
They can't be replaced.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain businesses that can't offer that, but so many of those in the square can, which is the beauty of the square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so those are fabulous. That's fabulous. Okay, that's great stuff. Because of course you are a chamber girl.
I am a chamber girl.
What is the greatest impact the chamber can have on small business, especially here in Woodstock? Because you want to plug Woodstock.
Oh, I'd say the greatest impact is, that's almost for me a twofold kind of answer, is that they can have such an impact on your business as long as you participate.
Sure, of course.
So in the beginning, like I was very involved with my children's school. You know, we had lived here 8 years from when I opened, 7.5 years. So I knew, like, my children were always pretty much in 3 different schools, right? So you get to know a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Right.
You'd have been a great realtor.
I told that, right? And people are like, oh, you know so many people.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, well, you have 3
that
different
is
schools.
the candy for realtors.
Right? And you go to church.
Yeah,
I was like,
there you
unless
go.
you're a
Oh,
hermit,
yeah.
right? Like, you're going to meet people.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, but I did not know. I knew a lot of the business owners on the square because I shopped there. I shopped the square.
Of course.
From the time
Yeah.
I moved here. However,
Shop local.
I didn't know, like, more business owners. So anytime there was a mixer or anything, I went and I met people, and you know,
And the
especially
support.
right,
Yeah.
and especially and it was such a unique thing in 2005 to be opening a independent bookstore.
Sure it was.
And
Yeah.
you know, but then like the mixers that were the multi-chamber, you know, and going and meeting people in Crystal Lake and meeting people in McHenry. And so I think
Building that
that's
network. Yeah.
that's the strongest thing your chamber can do for you. With a but, you have to participate.
Yeah. You have the opportunities.
Yeah, you have to put in the work, right? You only get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly.
I think is
But I find that the Woodstock Chamber is unique, and that everybody knows each other and they know what you do, and it's really good. It's everyone's involved. So there are folks that are around the square that aren't part of the chamber, but that they support the chamber. So do you think the book reading trend is shifting when it comes to digital versus hardcover? Do you think people are now moving more away from the digital, and they want to hold it?
That's not even just now. So every month I get statistics, and it tells me what's the top selling, whether it's children's paperback or hardcover, right? And for years and years and years, anything that's ebook has been in the red and dropping and dropping and dropping. So, and there is a phenomena about this. When I was in college, I was a psych major, so I love this kind of thing.
Okay.
May I just gather this book, just borrow it a moment?
Yeah.
So most of us and our children, and to this day children, are held on someone's lap with a picture book and read to.
Yeah.
What happens is our brain, it's called brain mapping, our brain remembers that feeling and that sensation.
Love
and
it.
it is a sensation of love, being protected, having an activity that's joined together. So our brain remembers that. So anytime we pick up a physical book, there is that trigger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
About
amazing.
that.
Do you like to read the ebooks? I don't.
No, I prefer.
I definitely prefer to go sit in a chair and read a book.
Yeah.
Versus the ebooks. I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, all of my buying is done on the computer now. And
Yeah.
so I am on screens.
So you need to take,
so
you need to
much.
get,
So I prefer.
I get it.
Yeah.
However, I will say, some people, when they travel, they don't want to carry books.
Oh, of
They
course,
want
yeah,
that,
get that,
right?
totally.
People
Yeah.
who have
the convenience.
things, eyesight problems with their eyesight. It's
It's a beautiful thing to have it.
If you have
Right.
a Kindle or an iPad, you can adjust the size
Yeah.
of the
Right.
font. You can play with the contrast.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Exactly.
think
Black
that,
on white, white on
Yep.
black.
yeah,
for
totally
sure.
agree with that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the trend because I'm seeing more kids holding books.
Right. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. We have children, we have teens, we have preteens in the store all the time.
I love that.
That's great.
That's a great answer. Okay, what else do you want to say about anything upcoming?
We are also taking part right now that just started in April. We have a passport program. It started April 1st, and it is Read Between the Lines and 11 additional independent bookstores in southeastern.
Oh, that's a cool thing.
In southeastern
Yes.
Wisconsin and northern Illinois. So, and that has been
So do they
amazing.
How does the passport work then?
We
Are
have
they
a little
go-
stamp.
Yes.
So when they spend $15 pre-tax, they get a stamp. If they spend $30 pre-tax, they get a extra gift at our store. There's a raffle at our store that they are entered in when they have visited 3 stores. They
I
get
love
a sticker.
that.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things going on with it.
We need to do the passport in the square too.
That's really cool.
Just
you
a
could
very
tie
cool
a whole
thing.
passport
I love
program
that.
with local businesses. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's great
That's
because
exciting.
that's supporting your book industry,
Right.
and that is what much needed. That you had. We're doing we're doing the 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. So we ask every guest to come up with 2 truths and a lie before they come on, and they get to put us on the spot, and we have to figure out which is the truth and which is a lie. So, do
Okay.
tell.
You ready?
Let's go.
All right. I have lived in Athens, Greece for 4 years. I have won a road rally. And I have run the New York City Marathon at age 51.
Okay, that one's truth. The other 2 are gonna throw away. I know that one. The third one was truth. I'm gonna say did not live in Athens, Greece,
Athens, Greece for 4 years.
for 4 years.
In a road rally. I'll say the first place in a road rally is a lie.
There you go.
That is correct.
Hey!
We were second place.
Wonderful. There's a little bit of psychology, I think, to it, too.
Too.
More often than not, when I've seen this game played and when I've played this game, number 2 is usually
interesting.
the lie.
Has it been with us today?
We'll have to go back to the tape
Yeah,
and
that'd be
rewind.
interesting.
That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a psychology thing. I'd be interested
Yeah.
to know that.
Okay,
All right.
so that's it for us. This is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
For tuning in to another episode of Northern Illinois Biz Chats.
And don't forget to follow us on socials to see more local businesses.
And that's it for us until next time.
That's a wrap.